Hi guys, my name is Connor Wan, and in this quick presentation I'm going to talk about 10 of the sneakiest dirty marketing secrets that many big internet organizations and big name internet marketers use to increase their product sales by almost 68%. There are loads and loads of different types of dirty tricks and techniques that these marketers use. But in the interest of keeping this presentation short and sweet, I'll talk about the top 10. If you do want to know more about the different tricks that are used, and how you can go about getting guaranteed sales for your products, then I would advise for you to click on the link below my name, that link which is www.exclusivefreeoffers.com. I'm also going to be posting this link under this video, so to click on through and I'll have a free gift for you. If you click on through now, you'll be able to grab a free ebook called The Big Book of Internet Marketing. It's a pretty amazing ebook. It's packed with detailed information and instructions on how you can generate traffic and subscribers to your website, how you can grab over 1,000 subscribers within a month, and once you get those subscribers, how you can turn them into potential customers and buying customers. So it's a pretty amazing ebook. It's normally priced at $47. However, as a free gift, if you click on through now, you'll be able to grab it free for a limited time only. So I would strongly urge that after this presentation, just click on through and just grab your free copy while it's still available. Okay, the first dirty trick is called creating controversy. Every single day people go on the internet and they always have something to say through their writing, whether it's through a blog, an email or an article. The trick is, and how to get noticed, is to create controversy through your writings. Don't be boring, that won't do a thing for you. The essence of creating controversy is by using passion. I mean, if you've had a bad experience with another person or another product, then tell people about it. But if you love a product or a person, then again tell people about it. Be sure that your writing conveys passion, whether it's positive or negative. In order to use controversy, you have to be willing to take a stand on a certain topic. You can't afford to be neutral if you want to be noticed. Only by conveying passion, whether it's positive or negative, will you get noticed. I mean, as an example, if you look at the world of celebrities today, I mean, I think one celebrity that comes to mind is Howard Stern, the talk show host. The only reason Howard Stern is popular and the only reason why people took notice of him was because he was controversial. And that controversy, I mean, not many people liked Howard Stern. However, his controversy generated interest in what he had to say. Even people who hated him tuned into his show simply because they knew that what he was going to say was going to be controversial, it was going to be passionate, it was going to generate a lot of talk, a lot of interest. And that's why Howard Stern is a millionaire, and that's why he was as popular as he was, because even though he was negative, he was controversial, he was passionate about what he had to say, and that really is what made him popular. So the same principles apply in internet marketing. If you're writing a blog, make it controversial. If you're writing an email or an article, if you're putting something on your website, then again, controversy will create interest, it will create popularity, because people will actually remember you after they've logged off the internet, after they're doing their own thing. They will be able to remember you more than they would remember anyone who was just being neutral. Okay, the second dirty trick is called the shock tactic, and as the title suggests, it basically means shocking your readers or customers. Some folk will use foul language to shock their readers, some will use incredible stories, and others still will tell them that they've made a huge mistake buying a certain product or using a certain service. I mean, when you read an email, how many times have you heard or seen statements like, "Don't be an idiot like me," or "I was a loser until I," whatever, and then "your methods of making money suck," etc., etc. Now, you may have found some offensive, but at the end of the day, they did get your attention. And that's why they're used. You know, with these type of titles, they suck you in and they make you want to keep reading. Because you don't see them every day, and because a lot of emails you receive and a lot of blogs you read are very neutral and very nicey nice, that's why when someone uses a shock tactic in their titles or their emails, it tends to stand out and you will take notice of that. Don't be afraid of being, you know, a bit negative when it comes to these. I mean, obviously, if you feel that you're maybe going a bit too far, then by all means hold back. But it's always good to be to use certain words in a certain way and to create shock and awe amongst your customers. By doing this, your customer will remember you even after they've logged off their email inbox. The idea is to create your presence in the mind of the customer after they've moved away from their PC screen. So after they've logged off their emails, or after they've logged off the screen, and they're doing something else, you want them to remember you. And the best way to do that is to create shock tactics and shock headings. You don't necessarily have to use the ones stated in the middle there, but you get the idea. If you use similar types of headings, then the idea is to remain in the mind of your customer or your reader after they've finished reading your article or your post. The third dirty trick is called the scare tactic, and again, as the name suggests, it's basically the tactic of using fear to force your customers to take a particular course of action, i.e. buying or trying your service or product. So it's possible to scare your potential customers into taking a particular action. Now, this tactic is particularly useful in the topics relating to health, money and love. Because at the end of the day, these are the three things that people don't want to be without. No one wants to be sick, poor or alone. So in these three niches, the scare tactic tends to work particularly well. Unfortunately, there are many people out there who will use the scare tactic for immoral reasons, to try and make money. One such example was the 9/11 tragedy. Unfortunately, there are many people out there who made a huge fortune of 9/11 by scaring people, telling them that the 9/11 attacks were actually a biological or chemical attack, and therefore that they were going to suffer unless they bought gas masks. So many of these people made a huge fortune out of selling gas masks just by evoking fear in their customers and therefore forcing them to take a particular course of action. Personally myself, I think that's very reprehensible, but at the end of the day, you get the idea. It's basically forcing a customer to take a particular course of action in a situation, and that particular course of action being, buying your product or trying your service. Another less extreme example would be, for example, if you were selling an ebook about how to protect your computer from malicious viruses. The obvious scare tactic there would be telling a customer that they couldn't afford to ignore this ebook, otherwise the computer could potentially be infected with a virus. No one wants to get a computer virus, so therefore people will be encouraged to buy your ebook and find ways to try and prevent that from happening. So again, this is another area obviously where a lot of money can be made from using the scare tactic. Computer viruses, obviously, again, like I said, no one wants to get a computer virus. So if you communicate to the customer, to the potential customer, the benefits of using their ebook, how it can prevent a disaster from happening to their computer, then that in turn could force a customer to take a particular course of action, such as trying your ebook to try and prevent that catastrophe from happening to their computer. Tactic number 4 is called the CCL tactic, stands for couldn't care less. I call it the jerk tactic. Basically what it is, it's basically involving telling customers, essentially bragging about how you've become successful in a particular niche, and how you've done really well for yourself in a particular niche. For example, in the internet marketing niche, you may get someone who says they've made $1 million online, and that for a small fee they're willing to share the techniques with you, so that you too can become a winner like them. So it's maybe a slight display of arrogance, but the idea is basically that you don't essentially don't give a damn about whether someone or not buys your product or not. You don't appear too needy. You're essentially just saying that you've already made your millions. You don't need their help. However, they're actually doing you a favor by giving you the secrets on how they became millionaires. And of course, the idea there is giving off the idea to the customer, to the potential customer, that you don't really need their help. You don't really need them to buy this product because you've already achieved what you need to achieve. And that the fact that you're giving them the product, or that you're offering them the product, you're doing it solely for their benefit and not for your own. even though you are charging a small fee, you're doing them a favor by giving them the secrets of how you yourself obtained your wealth. So this works quite well. The main core or the main philosophy behind this tactic is basically giving off the impression to your potential customers that you don't care whether or not they buy your product or your service. Because if they didn't buy your product, you wouldn't suffer, because you're already a millionaire. You're already a successful internet marketer, for example. But it would benefit them more than it would you for them to try your product or your service. So this is a fairly straightforward tactic to use. Tactic number 5 is called the no price tactic. Basically, it's the idea that on your sales pitch, you don't give the price of your product. Now this is a bit of a double-edged sword. If your sales page is well written and your product generates enough interest, then you don't need to include a price tag. Your customer will simply click on the order link just out of sheer curiosity to see how much the price is. And if it's less than what they expected, they'll buy your product. If it's a little bit more, then they may think about it and they may not buy your product as well, but they would certainly consider it, and that's a good thing. This tactic has a disadvantage though, in that it's dependent on how much interest you can generate in your product in the first place. Because your customer's only going to click on the order link to see the price if they're interested, or if the product's generated enough interest. So this relies on having a very, very good sales pitch. So if your sales pitch is top notch and your price is quite reasonable, then you can almost certainly guarantee a sale through this tactic. Okay, tactic number 6 is one that I use myself a lot. It's called the testimonial tactic. Testimonials for me are a very, very, very powerful thing. Essentially, it's using a positive reinforcer like a testimonial can make the difference between getting a sale or just getting someone who who just wants to see what your product is and doesn't have any interest in buying your product. After reading what a few happy customers would have to say, others would be more inclined to try the product themselves. Now, how would you go about getting testimonials? Well, what I personally do is I offer like a beta test or a free sample of my product to my subscribers or to a certain group of customers, and I ask for them to provide feedback. And I select obviously 5 of the best feedbacks, and I'll use them in my sales pitch or my sales page. I know a lot of internet marketers who actually tend to make up testimonials, and I would strongly advise you don't do that. Be absolutely honest in your product. Provide full details of your product. Don't make stuff up. Use real testimonials. Provide free samples of your product and get feedback from those customers that are trying the product, and then use the positive feedbacks in your sales page. Testimonials are very, very powerful. I myself have found that it makes a difference between getting a sale and getting someone who's kind of on the fence and not sure what they want to do. So on your sales pitch, I would strongly suggest using testimonials because they really do work. Tactic number 7 is a fairly obvious one. It's the WIIFM. It's what's in it for me. It's not really a tactic, but the idea for this is that on your sales page, the whole theme of the sales page should be around the customer, i.e. what the products will do for the customer, what's in it for them. I tend to see a lot of sales pages which talk about the product vendor, or the guy that actually makes the product, the guy giving his life story. So you have a sales page where 3/4 of the page is taken up by the guy talking about himself or herself. Not a lot of customers just don't want to hear that. Customers want to know what the product can do for them, how it's going to benefit them, how it's going to solve their problems. So make sure that the main theme around your sales page evolves around the customer and what the product can do for them, rather than who you are and why you made this product and what the product's done for you. By all means, introduce yourself and say a little bit about yourself on your sales page. But mainly the product should really, or the product sales page should talk about what the product can do for the customers more than anything else. Countdown tactic is one that I know a lot of internet marketers and product creators actually use. Sometimes it can work quite well. However, if you overdo it or if you don't do it correctly, then it could damage your credibility. For example, if you use the countdown product and the product's still available on your sales page after the countdown is expired, then that could negatively affect your credibility. So if you are going to use the countdown tactic, make sure you do use it properly. And it's a very good way of creating an urgency in your product. If there's a certain time limit applied to your product's availability or to the special price of your product, then you can use the countdown tactic to tell the customers that they have a limited time to get the product on a special discount or to get bonus features of the product. So I would advise to use this tactic sparingly, and if you are going to use it, try and use it as honestly as possible. Don't just use it to scare customers and then still have the product available even after the countdown is expired, because that's going to piss off a lot of your customers, and that's really the last thing you want to do. The review tactic works quite well for products, especially in blogs or review blogs. If you give your personal opinion on a product, then people will obviously use that as a way of determining whether or not the product's worth buying. Most of the time, this is used with an affiliate link. So it may be, for example, you're reviewing another person's product, and then underneath your review, you may have an affiliate link. So when that customer clicks through to the affiliate link and they buy the the creator's product, you get a small commission or small affiliate commission for referring them. Review tactics work very well. However, just make sure that you're completely honest in your product review. I know there are some very few internet marketers that actually lie about product reviews, and that's a very bad approach to take. If you lie about a product review and you get discovered, then it could affect your reputation. It would actually ruin your reputation, and I can promise you that once your reputation is ruined, you will never get it back again. So be absolutely honest in your product review. If the product is good, then give a positive review, and if it's bad, then say what's bad about it. But don't never lie, and be as absolutely accurate and honest as possible. If customers can see that you are honest in your reviews, they're more likely to buy, and you'll get an increased number of people buying through your reviews if you're honest. So again, it's a good tactic to use, but just make sure you stand by what you say, and you're absolutely honest in your reviews as well. Okay, the last tactic in this presentation is called the Get Personal tactic, and personally it's one of my favorites. Basically it's just telling the customer that you're a human being and not just being a massive sales pitch machine. The idea basically is to tell the customer who you are, what your background is, what you've been doing, and why they should listen to you. Essentially, it's about telling the customer who you are, what kind of experience you have as well, and it kind of personalizes the text that you're writing, whether it's a blog or whether it's a sales page. Personally, I use this tactic in my emails, in my newsletters to my subscribers. I send out newsletters to my subscribers every week, and you don't want to sound like a machine. You do want to add a bit of personality to it, and this works very well because it kind of makes the customers think that they have someone at the other end who genuinely is interested in what they do and what they want to achieve as well. So I actually enjoy doing this. I enjoy conversing with my different subscribers and getting to know them and helping them out with certain problems. And it also means I can go to them if I have a certain question that I want resolved as well. They may have a certain expertise which you don't have, and they can help you with that as well. So it helps establish a relationship, which is always very good, and it keeps your subscribers and your customers interested. Because if you sound like a machine, then they're more likely to turn off, and they may not remember you after a while. So it keeps them engaged and it keeps them interested. So for me personally, it's a very good tactic to use. So by all means, especially in your email marketing and your newsletters to your subscribers, I think the personal tactic always works very well. Okay, that's going to do it for today for Dirty Tech Tips. There's actually loads and loads of more. However, I don't have time to cover them all in this presentation. If you want more information on those and how you can generate traffic and subscribers to your website in the quickest time possible, then you can pick up your free complimentary report or ebook, which I mentioned at the beginning, called the Big Book of Internet Marketing. Just click on to the link below under my name, www.exclusivefreeoffers.com. It's a free ebook. The website is actually a website by an internet marketer called Jake Roslin, who's a good friend of mine. He's giving away this ebook for free, but there's limited copies available. So click on through right now, grab your ebook, and it'll pretty much answer everything you really need to know about internet marketing. So thanks for reading and enjoy the free ebook, and I will see you soon.